Marston. You're listening to What's Working. This is the special edition version, COVID economy version. The goal of this show is to help you as small business owners, leaders, whatever it may be in your workplace and marketplace, figure out what's going on out there and how to react to it from the business point of view. Our guests are people that I know and have known and try to meet and am networked into that have some advice to share. And today I've got a great lineup for us. I'm very, very pleased with the people who have offered their time to share their expertise. Well, after our first break, we'll come back to a woman named Laura Stack. I may have met Laura in the past. She's out of Denver, Colorado, where she will be speaking to us today. She's called the Productivity Pro, and she has a knack on teaching people how to get things done. And while so many of us are at home or working from home, Laura's going to give us some advice and some insight on how to boost productivity and what it is that we do. Amazingly, there have been a number of people who have told me anecdotally that their team's productivity has spiked since the COVID economy hit and they're working from home. And there are a lot of folks considering relocating their people out of the office back into home-based businesses, but home-based offices. And hopefully next week I'll have a guest talking about the commercial real estate impact on that and what that may mean for you and me. Anyway, back for Laura. Laura is going to also work with us on products and ideas that perhaps we have shelved and reintroducing those as new products and ways to get old products and make them new again in a time of reduced productivity due to inability to interact with our customers. Following Laura, we'll have Nichole Patrick on. Nichole is one of the residential real estate agents in town who's killing it right now. And we're going to talk to her about what's going on with real estate. Why is now such a great time to buy? In a time where most people are on the fence and afraid, Nichole says things are going very, very well for her. They're also utilizing some new technologies, and I'm going to learn from her what those technologies are, how they're impacting their business, and maybe get some insight on how we can adopt those technologies into our own businesses. Finally, if you haven't looked at Facebook page for O'Daly's Irish Pub, I want you to go there now. If you can pull over, go there now, because our last guests today will be Boom and Zoom. And that's all I'm going to say. But start by going to O'Daly's Irish Pub, taking a look at some of those videos, and Boom and Zoom will make sense to you in a little while. They are getting an extraordinary amount of attention in a very crowded and busy marketplace, which is social media right now. Before we move any further, I want to thank Mary Beth Green, who was on last night's show. Many of you may know at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, we do the traditional What's Working show, where we go after the show or the businesses, our guests' stories. Where are they from and what's their background and how have they developed this business and what have they learned as they've developed their products and nurtured their customers, etc. And last night we had Mary Beth Green with MB Green Bags. They make bags and totes and clutches and things of this nature out of Fairhope that are sold nationwide in boutique stores nationwide, as well as Neiman Marcus, which is a really fantastic thing. And I love the part of her story where she had 17,000 bags in storage in Fairhope and says, okay, let's do something. It's go time. We got to start selling these things. She also offered a very generous coupon to anybody that wanted to buy any of her product online, and 25% off, and we can tell you how to get that. It's the text service, which I'll finish the show with, or you can find it on Instagram right now. At 1:52, we will recap the best ideas from the show from Laura and Nichole, and then we will move into Boom and Zoom. If you have to go somewhere, come back at 1:52, and we'll have the information of what I felt like were the best pieces of advice for you and I to capture and run with. We'll itemize those, then we'll get Boom and Zoom on the phone. Find the show on Facebook, What's Working with Cam Marston. Find it on Instagram, same thing, What's Working with Cam Marston, and also on Twitter, where you can keep up with what we're doing, suggest guests, give us feedback, etc. As always, the phone and text line in the studio is available, 343-0106. We will be back in just a minute with our first guest, Laura Stack, who we'll be speaking to in Denver. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is brought to you by Regents. We're back. You're listening to What's Working, brought to you by Regions. On the line, I have Laura Stack. Now, let me, folks, give you a little bit about this lady, and you'll realize the how lucky we are that she's not busy like me. Laura Stack is the Productivity Pro. She's an award-winning keynote speaker, best-selling author, noted authority on employee and team productivity, president of the Productivity Pro Incorporated, a boutique consulting firm dedicated to helping leaders increase workplace performance in high-stress environments. She has 8 books, the most recent being Faster Together, Accelerating Your Team's Productivity, and her clients include just a Fortune 500 who's who. It's really very remarkable. Laura, thank you so much for your time and your willingness to be on the show. Welcome to What's Working.
Thanks so much, Cam. My pleasure to be with you here today.
So many of my guests on this show are a little bit nervous about being on radio. It's not a familiar venue for them. However, looking at your bio here, this is old hat. This is undoubtedly going to be the pinnacle of your career, being on my radio show.
Almost 30 years now. I've done 1 or 2 radio shows in my life.
Yeah, no kidding. And all this CBS early show, CNN, NPR, New York Times, that's now second compared to What's Working with Cam Marston in Mobile, Alabama.
This is the creme de la creme.
I appreciate it. Listen, I know you're a productive person. You create a lot of product out there. And when you and I were trading emails about this, you shared with me that you have repurposed some of your products and made them quote unquote new again. What's old is new again, and put them out there in front of your clients or perhaps new clients and had some success. There are many people listening right now who are entrepreneurs who are thinking, how do I take my current inventory and reinvent it for the current marketplace? Could you give us some insight on what you did and maybe some tips and pointers?
Sure. Well, gosh, it almost seems unreal. It's kind of like just printing money. But I was sitting in my office just thinking, how could I create cash now? And I thought about some videos that I had created, and over the years, I did live webinars, and I happened to record the webinars, which turned out now to be one of the smartest things I did. So, for example, I did a 5-week series on Microsoft Outlook. I did an 8-week series on Accelerate Your Productivity, and they were just 1 hour live webinars, which at the time I recorded on my platform, GoToWebinar. And the concept was that people would go away, do some homework, come back for the next edition the following week. So I thought, why don't I just rerun that entire series again, and I can just play the videos in the room and host a watch party where now I will be live on the webinar. I simply share my screen, load the video up into the GoToWebinar platform, and hit play. And I facilitate live. I sit there, I take Q&A, I chat with audience members, and I charged $99 per person for the 5-week series, for the 8-week series, and it's been shocking how many people now, more than the original series, are paying to watch my videos with me. So they go away, do the homework, and the catch, I think, has been email me. I will be your personal coach for the next 5 weeks, for the next 8 weeks. And I think maybe that was the hook, and that I was facilitating them live. So, Cam, that's what I would recommend. I would say host a watch party and simply play what you already have. Shocking, creates cash very quickly.
So how did you price it? Now, this is an item that you kind of had on the shelf, figuratively speaking.
It is on the shelf. It's a product. You can go onto my website and you can buy the videos for $99, which is exactly what, how I had it set up. But because I sent out a blast, I said I was hosting it, I was facilitating a 5-week series of videos that were pre-recorded. I mean, I didn't tell anybody anything that wasn't already the case, that they could have already purchased for $99. So what did I charge? $99. I charged exactly the same thing. So instead of them buying 5 one-hour videos. I simply played them once a week for 1 hour while live on the chat. And for whatever reason, that is far more appealing. I have had over 250 people now combined in the series of watch parties.
That's fantastic. So the sweetness that you offered the deal was your live participation in the watch party, as well as the individual email that people could reach out to you as you were live watching this. Is that correct?
It's exactly right. It's almost like if you are on, you've seen on Facebook how some people are live streaming, and then they'll have a replay where you can simply watch the replay, except, if you had the person in the room live answering chat questions from participants, that same type of concept. And so offering it as coaching, private coaching with Laura for the next 5 weeks, 8 weeks, what have you, I think that is, it is literally the only difference. Instead of them just buying the recordings and watching them, there's something fun about having the author, the founder, the speaker live with you. So I just come on for literally 30 seconds in the beginning on the video platform and on my webcam. Hi, it's Laura. Okay, here we go. Week 1. Remember, I'm on the chat. And I play the video. So I literally sit there for an hour and chat with people and answer questions. And then I thought, well, I wonder how many people are going to actually email me in between and how much time this coaching is going to take. Hardly at all.
Really?
None.
So it's the hook, but no one bites the hook. It's the hook that you're getting people onto, but no one's biting the hook. That's amazing.
Well, they come to the actual live sessions.
Right.
And I do send them the entire product because some people say, oh, well, I can't get my printer to work, or I'm not going to be available live that day, or I'm, that time doesn't work for me. So I just said, okay, I'm going to just make the executive decision and just send you all the 5 videos and workbooks, which is what they would have bought anyway for $99. So that if the live sessions don't work for you at that particular day and time, you can simply watch them at your own convenience. So I do have some diehards who will still log in on that exact day and time because I think they just need a little hand-holding. Because they know that unless they have it on their calendar and Laura's going to be there. So I think, Cam, it's just creating somehow a sense of urgency.
Here's what I hear.
We'll make them do it. People are huge procrastinators.
Here's what I hear. Certainly the urgency, you're exactly right. But you're taking something that is, again, on the shelf and providing or giving it attention and giving the user attention, and it is adding value. And right now, if you're like me, you've got time to give things attention. So the idea is for the listeners out there, what do you got right now that your business can give attention to, or you, if you're the personality, can give attention to that will add perceived value to this in the time of the COVID economy and perhaps get some historic products moving again? Do I have that about right?
That's about right. And the fact that you can just set it up and play it makes it so easy. And I knew about this, Cam, years ago when GoToWebinar sent me an email and said, did you know that you can now reuse your recordings? And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. But I was so busy doing live speeches, didn't really experiment with it, didn't really think that it would be worth my time. But now that everybody's sitting there in their house with nothing to do, I think encouraging your clients, your customers to, hey, take advantage of this extraordinary time and set yourself up for success when you're finally back in the office. I think you can re-engage them with what you already have by putting it in front of them in a creative way and just repackaging so that you don't have to do it all over again. I didn't want to record those videos all over again, for sure.
Well, my wheels are spinning because I've got some inventory on the shelf and I'm wondering, all right, Laura has just given me an idea. I brought her on to give my listeners ideas, but I'm taking one of these things. I want to move now into, Laura, your wheelhouse of productivity. I am learning that there are a lot of people out there who are increasing their productivity from a work and home environment. This is working out better than many had anticipated. And I speak to many of my peers who are kind of managers and supervisors, and their comments are, I'm thinking we're going to have to downsize our office space due to the overwhelming success of working from home. Now, as a productivity coach, do you see a early spike in productivity from working from home for some people and then it begins to dwindle? Or is it something that always stays up?
I think productivity actually for most people falls when they're working at home because of COVID right now. It's because they aren't set up well, their kids are running around, their spouse is home, they find themselves being a school teacher. They don't have regular structure. So initially, everybody's productivity declined, at least in my experience with the people that I was talking with. And I think there is a certain personality of being at home. I think it depends if you're alone, if you have, if you're an employee with 4 children running around, mom, needing to do school. So it really varies, Cam, based on the person and their particular setup, their situation, their environment. And a lot of people don't work well at home. They don't have the self-discipline. They're lonely. They miss the office. Some people really need structure. Where they, leave your house every day, go to work. There's something mental about that for a lot of people. And so I think time's going to tell. My daughter is 24 and works for a very large corporation, and they just informed her she would be working at home at least until June. Mm-hmm. And so she's had to do some things now where it's like, wow, this isn't temporary. I think I need to get a standing desk. I need to get a couple of monitors. So, I think the more we have knowledge around how long are we going to be out and what is the impact, as managers, as leaders, as owners, we can help facilitate setting our employees up for even greater success. So that's really incumbent on the leader to find out what's frustrating you, what's keeping you from being at your productive best, what are the obstacles that you're having from working at home, and doing what we can as leaders to kind of plow through some of those. And it's really incumbent on us to make sure our employees can be productive.
And we got just a couple of minutes, Laura. I want to ask you about that individual who needs interaction to find energy and stimulus, and they need social interaction. This is a personality type, and the type of that personality is, the name is escaping me right now, but they feed on being around other people, yet they are stuck at home either alone or even with people that they're tired of seeing. Give me quick advice for stimulating that person into productivity. Just a minute left.
Well, I mean, that's a real extroverted person, but it's also sometimes a lack of discipline. So really, until the virus has run its course and people can get out to the gym, to movies, to restaurants, to stores, they're down, they're sad, they're anxious. So as much structure as we can give that type of person, the better. Following a routine, set beginning and end time. So I would suggest some core working hours where we know everybody is at the quote home office for certain times, and then encouraging those employees they need to get outside, they need to have some sunshine, maybe some online training to boost their enthusiasm. So we have to figure out how to continue to engage them.
What are you doing these days, Laura? I know that you've recreated your webinar and you've reinvigorated that. You've told us about that, but I'm curious what the productivity coach does during times of isolation.
Well, the Productivity Pro has started a new nonprofit organization, so that's what I'm doing in my own time. You have to find a new hobby. You have to find something that re-engages your excitement. Mine is johnny'sambassadors.org. And so we're working on mental health for teens because it's very difficult right now in these times with COVID. There's a lot of anxiety, depression, sadness. And so we are doing something actively to help. So I would recommend everyone find something that they've always wanted to do. Right? What are some of those someday projects? Get organized, clean out your files, empty your inbox. I don't care what it is, but something that you can do to help yourself kind of get your rear in gear.
Laura, I know you've stimulated the thinking of a lot of people out there. Tell them how they can find you.
I'm at theproductivitypro.com.
Theproductivitypro.com. And real quick, just before we leave, we're in South Alabama, Mobile, Alabama. It's already starting to get warm here. What is the weather like in Denver today?
It's a beautiful, sunny 60 degrees.
Beautiful. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for your time. Folks, we'll be back in a little bit with Nichole Patrick to talk about real estate trends. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston, brought to you by Regions. Listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. There are 250 agents at Bros Realtors here in Mobile, Alabama. The top agent is a woman named Nichole Patrick, and she's on the line right now. Nichole, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to What's Working.
Sure.
I am impressed by your success. I know it's a tough job, but I am surprised. The reason I wanted you on the show is to talk a little bit about what's going on in the residential real estate market. Everything that all the common sense that I thought I had would say, nope, this is not the time to buy a home. But from what I see from you online as well as hear from others, people are turning homes fast right now. Is that indeed what's going on?
Yep, they are.
Tell me why.
I thought about this. First when all this started, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was scared like everybody else. But before I knew it, I've been as busy as I've been any other spring. But I think it's a combination of things. It's spring. Interest rates are at an all-time low. I thought maybe people have more time on their hands, want to get out of the house. They want to take it a step further and just get a whole new house, maybe. But also there's a good balance of inventory, good balance of supply and demand, which, it doesn't seem to be, a seller's market or a buyer's market. It just kind of seems to be balanced, really.
And that's not been the case for a while. There's been a lack of home inventory in the marketplace for a while. Isn't that right?
Right, yes. The inventory has been low. And, maybe with the COVID, it kind of allowed inventory to catch up a little bit, which we really needed. But so I don't know. But it's we're getting multiple offers again. I mean, homes selling over asking price. It's pretty crazy.
It really is crazy. Again, it's not anything I could have predicted. I would suspect you, like so many other people, are both surprised and grateful for all this type of stuff. Is there a type of house or a range of price that's really the sweet spot right now?
Not real. They're all price ranges are selling really, but maybe it starts with the lower price range under 2, and then kind of trickles up from there. But I haven't seen really any certain. I've been selling all price range really.
So it's all over the board right now, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Are there areas of Mobile that are, or Baldwin County? I don't know how familiar you may be with Baldwin County, but that are leading this? Is the Midtown market leading this trend or something like that? Can you put your finger on a regionality in these homes turning so quickly?
I can't. I sell all over. I'm closing one on Dolphin Island tomorrow. I sold in Midtown, Spring Hill, West Mobile. There may be some statistics out there that may show, one area over another, but I can't tell. Midtown's always been a great area. It's always, been popular. So, but there hadn't been a lot of inventory lately.
Yeah.
Still, once they come up, if it's priced right and a good house, it sells pretty quick.
What are you doing differently these days, Nichole, to market yourself? I know you're unable to get out there and network, perhaps if that was a part of what you used to do, that you just can't meet people like you used to do. What are you doing differently these days?
Yeah, really, I'm not going into the office as much. Our office everyone's pretty much working from home, but they're going in and out. And, I still get up every day, and I just come to instead of going to the office, I try to get up, get dressed, and make phone calls, get on the computer, touch base with people that way. I'm fortunate enough that I've been doing this for over 23 years. A lot of my business comes from, past customers and referrals. So, not too different, really. There haven't been any open houses, but I've picked up a few buyers recently that, called on a listing and went to show it to them. They said, "Hey, could you show us some other houses?" We can't get anybody to call us back. So maybe some people are treating this kind of like a vacation or something. But I picked up a few that way. But
tell me about. I've read about virtual home tours, and that due to the dangers or the hazards that COVID has introduced to us, that there are now virtual home tours, that the buyer has been predetermined almost to the nth degree. They can swing the home, and they're not, and then they'll see the home virtually. Is it you or the realtor walking around on a FaceTime video talking them through the home? Tell me how these virtual home tours are working.
Yes, and I've done that once. I actually sold a house to a buyer moving here from North Carolina, and he was unable to get here. They tried to schedule it, but with everything going on, and his wife had a baby, and then their house went under contract in North Carolina, and he said they looked online and they narrowed it down and said, "I will go and I'll FaceTime you. I can show you these houses that way." And he said, "Let's do it." So we we kind of looked online and zeroed in on really one house. And I went and FaceTimed it. I drove around the neighborhood, and he bought it. He still hadn't seen it. We're closing the inspections next week, and we're closing, the end of the month. But most people they've been looking online anyway for a while. Most buyers do about, I'd say, 95% of their, home shopping on the internet, and then when they get real serious on one, then they make an appointment to see it. And I've offered to do virtual showings, and I've done a few videos, but I think, now that the initial, fear and uncertainty's over, they're kind of doing like they did before, which is just look mostly online, kind of narrow it down, and then at some point, most people are going to want to go in and see the house because pictures can be deceiving. So, but, we're just careful. Wear masks and gloves and, take off our shoes, whatever everybody feels comfortable with. But it's kind of really getting, other than wearing the masks and the gloves, but it's kind of getting back to normal as far as showings. There have been a few sellers that are are high risk that are not letting their homes be shown right now. But I haven't run into that too often.
Yeah. Now, do you know if you're an anomaly within Roberts Brothers or other realtors that you know, or is this is the case everywhere right now? Again, I'm stunned by the amount of home turnover and buyers there are out there.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much been busy. Everybody I've talked to.
What do you think about? Is the technology that you're seeing right now, this virtual showing stuff, do you think there are people that are going to want to latch onto that and make that a permanent part of their business after even though it sounds like we've begun returning to normal, after this is all over, do you think there'll be some of that? What part of this will stick around in the realtor toolbox?
Maybe some of it. I think buyers, the virtual tours, and they're great, but I think buyers just want to, they kind of take long to upload and they're slow. I think they just want to look through pictures and then narrow it down, and maybe some of the more expensive ones, because it is expensive to do these virtual tours and 3D tours. But maybe some of the more expensive homes we may keep doing them. But I honestly started doing that on a lot of my listings, and then it got so busy and they were selling, so I didn't get a chance to do them.
Yeah.
Started doing Facebook Live videos and video walkthroughs and professional tours, and then honestly, it's been so busy and everything's selling, so I just hadn't had time to do anymore.
So I'm curious. Thankfully, it was an arduous process buying our home and getting into it. It's been 12 years now. But what are the features that are popular in homes these days? If I were on the market to sell my home and I was going to give my home a critical look to say, does the features of my home match what's popular in the market? What are buyers looking for in home features right now?
Well, kitchen and bathrooms are the most important, but I'll tell a seller they don't want to go and completely renovate a kitchen or bathroom before they put their home on the market, because people may have different tastes. But the things I do tell sellers to do, paint's important, cleaning, decluttering, landscaping, stuff like that. You don't want to spend, do major. I don't recommend, a seller do major upgrades just to put their home on the market. But, you want it clean and fresh, updated colors. And but if a house has updated kitchens and bathrooms, it will sell immediately, and people will pay. They'll pay.
Is it only the master bath, or is it all bathrooms throughout the house?
Mainly the master bath, but the others are important too. But I would say mainly the master.
And define an updated master bathroom. What does that include?
Oh, well, marble is really popular now. The separate shower, nice tub, something, 2 sinks, something larger like the newer homes. Sometimes in these older homes, some of the older homes don't even have a true master bath, and if they do, it's tiny. So mainly having the space, a large master bath and closet. If there's some way to, with older homes, if there's a way to expand, or, nice shower.
So these are the things that are making the buyers right now say, yes, this is the one I want. I can get into this. I can utilize it right now. And are you finding these things in some of these older Midtown homes?
I'm seeing it more and more in the Midtown homes, where people are going in and updating them, and they sell immediately. And I'm shocked every time at what people will pay if it's move-in ready.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with renovating. Most people don't want to deal with renovating these days, it seems like. And if it is renovated, it'll get over top dollar if it's done.
Are home flippers out there right now in this economy, or it's a cash flow business? Are you seeing them still kind of churning out there?
I see a lot of them. In certain areas more than others, but yeah, I can tell normally in MLS when something's been flipped, because it's normally vacant, it's got all the right colors, the right countertop. I mean, they know what to put in it.
Nichole Patrick is a realtor at Roberts Brothers. She's the top realtor out of their 250 agents. Nichole, I appreciate your insight. Again, I'm surprised, and I'm glad to hear that market is going well. We'll be right back after these breaks. Boom and Zoom on the line, but before I get them on the phone, and you're going to want to hear this, folks, what they're doing now is absolutely fantastic. I told you at the head of the show, please go out and watch some of their videos prior to getting them on the phone. I hope you have. But first, 152, my promise every time. Let's recap the highlights of the show. We first had Laura Stack on. Laura's doing watch parties, replaying old videos, and offering the incentive of having her available at any moment as they watch these videos to interact with her. She's giving the videos and the attendees at the watch party attention. And by doing so, she's revaluing these products that have been essentially sitting on the shelf. Her advice to us, what are the products, the ideas that we have around, and how can we give them attention and create new value out of them with our current and perhaps some of our old customers, people that are already our advocates. I know my mind got spinning when she started talking about it. Additionally, we asked her a little bit about productivity right now, and she said the same thing so many people have said, both on the show as well as elsewhere. Structure right now is key. If you're one of the people that gets energy from peers and colleagues in the workplace, and you're starved of this type right now due to your inability to go to work, create some structure that gives you this interactivity through webinars, phone calls. Maybe you need to get out and go to the grocery store and spend a little time talking to people through your mask 6 feet away, whatever, that gives you this energy to bring you back into the workplace. Laura Stack. Then we had Nichole Patrick. Nichole was talking about the incredible number of home sales and interest in buying homes right now. I've said it a number of times, I'm surprised. The traditional things of the homes are still valuable. The big kitchens, the updated kitchens, the big bathrooms, the updated bathrooms. And the virtual home tours, while I thought they would be a big part of home sales going forward, she says they're beginning to diminish. Buyers of homes are too interested in going in and quote-unquote kicking the tires on the new home. And while a virtual tour can be good, it's not exactly what we would want. It's what some would want, but not most. And we're going back to seeing people live in the homes. Now, let's go to the phone. We got Boom and Zoom. We got Matt Lamont and Luke Peavy on the line. Matt, Luke, thank you so much for your willingness to be on the show. Welcome to What's Working.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Tell me first, let's go top to bottom. O'Daly's Irish Pub. Tell me about O'Daly's Irish Pub, what it is, and why you felt the need to create Boom and Zoom to support it. Matt, go ahead.
Okay, so O'Daly's Irish Pub is our Irish pub in downtown Mobile. We have various events throughout the year, from wiffle ball leagues to live shows in the back lot, to big events for our St. Patrick's Day. And with everything going on and trying to learn this new life, it was really kind of just a flight or fight method, and we're fighters, and we've always wanted to kind of push out our pizza a little bit. And I was sitting in front of O'Daly's one night, said, hey, look, let's deliver our pizza. We'll collect the tips because insurance-wise, only Luke and I can drive. And we'll give the tips to kind of help out our staff to kind of keep as many people on board as possible. And I text Luke, and he said, you say jump, I say how high. And 35 videos later, we're still doing it.
Unbelievable. The one that I've seen that I had to look through my fingers was the Chippendales video. Tell people what the videos are and how they're bringing you attention. It's hard to get attention on social media anytime, but especially these days. What are you doing? Tell people what you're doing.
So we kind of came up with these ideas. We really just wanted to do a video before each shift, and if you go kind of down the rabbit hole, you'll see how the production changed along the way. And I'm a big Saints fan, and Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram were Boom and Zoom. So our very first theme was black and gold, and I said, hey, we'll be Boom and Zoom. But we got too busy to film that day, so we just it stuck along the way. And from then on, we both come up with ideas for themes, change the nouns to pizzas, wings, or daiquiris, or beer, and get our costumes and roll with it.
And they're parodies. They're hysterical. They're parodies of different things that we may have seen before. For example, the Chippendales dancers. While you both are fine, handsome men, I don't think you have a career in being a Chippendales dancer, but you wouldn't know it based on your video. You guys are all in. There is no half in on these videos. You're all in.
Luke doesn't give himself enough credit. He's the real dancer and singer, and if you watch today's video, you're going to find out that Luke is the real superstar with the, kind of tucked away there.
Yeah. Luke, my interest is piqued. Very, very peaked right now. I can't wait to see this type of thing. Is this going to be a permanent part of the marketing for O'Daly's Irish Pub, or is this going to slow down at some point?
Man, I think we have plans to slow it down here a little bit. We originally started, we were delivering 6 days a week and doing 6 videos a week, literally filming from 4 to 4:30, editing 4:30 to 5, and pushing these videos out. It just got to be a little time-consuming with, everything else we have going on. So we, swapped to only doing Wednesday through Saturdays and delivering on those days. So, cut us down to 4 videos a week. Definitely do not think we're going to keep up 4 videos a week, but there are some talks of Boom and Zoom sticking around for maybe a monthly appearance or two.
I hope so.
Once all this gets past us.
Bear in mind that these videos will be available to your children and your grandchildren for the rest of your life. This is stuff that I tell my kids. Everything on social media is always there. It always exists. The delete button doesn't work. Folks, go find O'Daly's Irish Pub on Facebook. Watch some of these videos. Click like, follow them. They are the entertainment. They're the highlight of my day. Luke and Matt, thank you so much for your entertainment and your time on the show today.
All right, thanks, Cam. We appreciate you.
Guys, you're doing great work, and it's just refreshing. It's just refreshing, folks. We'll have another show for you next week. If you want the lists of things that we put together, enter what's working to 442. Text it to 44222. Again, what's working to 44222. You'll get the Mary Beth Green coupon. We'll have another show next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.